Well, our 20th anniversary of Morning Live continues with another day one member of the team. Big flashback here, Dean-O-Rama. It's Dean Stoltz.
So you were the,
oh my goodness, how are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. You were the Morning Live reporter 2001.
2001, I was one of the original six, and boy, I'm remembering now being out here on this balcony 20 years ago in those cold mornings. You know, we were doing rehearsals, it seemed like for a couple of weeks, I think, back then, and my goodness, we launched 20 years right then and there. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's absolutely freaky, and we've missed you since you left. We have so many Dean stories to share. You remember day one, though, when we did that photo shoot in the pajamas?
I do. I should still have those pajamas, but I guess they...
Thank you for
them back or something. I don't know.
We've got a few memories, but Dean, what's your fondest memory?
Oh my goodness, we were just talking before we went on here, and there's a few that I even forgot. But
oh, we'll remind you.
You know, maybe we shouldn't even talk about them on the air. But in all honesty, I guess the big picture is just that, you know, being chosen as one of the original six for that show, for a brand new show, and you know, on day one, we didn't know how popular it was going to be. And, you know, 20 years later, you guys are still on the air. So it's obviously resonated with the viewers in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara. For me, the memories really are just working closely with the crew every morning and, you know, doing my small part every morning, really getting that show on the air.
Yeah, you're dancing around the loose Afghan. The loosely knit Afghan.
We still talk about that on Facebook.
That's legendary.
Yeah, it is. The story, and I don't know if you're going to show any pictures or anything, but that was just one of the many overnight fires that I covered on the night shift there. Hamilton has a lot of fires overnight, and it was a multi-structure fire, and this fella came out, and about all he had on was a very loosely knit Afghan.
You were the overnight reporter, and then I was the crime reporter at that time. And so you would pass off a lot of stories to me, and our desks were like side by side, and I remember we had tons of great laughs.
Unfortunately, at that poor guy's expense, but he escaped the fires.
Oh, yeah,
he's okay.
Fine. Yeah. He got the heck out. Yeah.
He got the heck out, yeah.
Speaking of passing on stories, one that you wanted to pass off, tell us about the dead goat, Dean.
Oh boy, that's one that was to the far reaches as well. You might remember Mike Miles, and I wanted to give a shout out to Mike Miles and George Sostak, two guys on the assignment desk overnight with me. But Mike Miles started with us on the show, of course, and there was one story that came across, and I forget if it was on a scanner or what, but there was something about a dead goat. I believe it was down in Niagara somewhere, and Mike he says, get down there and cover the dead goat. And it just happened to be in someone's backyard. I forget what the details were. But again, another story that lives in infamy. My goodness.
Yes.
Good memory, guys.
Yeah, I remember you coming back to the station. Seriously?
So what are you doing now? Tell the people what you're doing now, because you're not, this is a fake set behind him, but...
That's right. We just thought it might be fun to mock this up. So when I left Morning Live, I think it was around late 2003. So really, I wasn't on the show for that long. Went and did a really short teaching stint at Conestoga College. And then many years earlier, I'd met my wife out here in British Columbia. Yeah, this doesn't look like British Columbia, but that's where I am right now in my home COVID office out here on Vancouver Island. So in 2004, late 2004, I started working at Czech TV in Victoria. So that's where I've been now for about 17 years. Out here on the island covering West Coast news for Czech TV.
So you have your own 20th anniversary coming up, not too long.
That's right, yeah. And I was just doing the math, and almost 30 years in the business. So, you know, when you guys contacted me for 20 years on the show, holy smokes, I really started to think, I've been doing this for a while, and 30 years in the business, and wow, it's time to be put out to pasture, I think, pretty soon here.
No.
But congratulations on your success in that beautiful part of the country. But boy, we miss you here, Dean. Thank you so much for joining us this morning to take the trip down memory lane.
Thank you guys very much for having me, and it's really been a lot of fun.
So again, that was Dean Stoltz, our very first videographer here on Morning Live.